everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Needs to Be Said. I am CJ, and this is Elephant Exposed. I am very, very excited today. I have a very special guest with me, and we're going to be bringing him forward, and we're going to be looking at some videos and with my man, Dr. Rashad, and he's going to be sharing with us about the very thing that I mentioned on my show. This needs to be said. I'm sorry. Elephant Exposed. Our job, or my job, is to talk about the elephants in the room and expose them for what they are when it comes to injustices and corruption and different things like that. But that is not the sole purpose of it. And so today, I just thought it was very ironic because the very thing that I happened to mention on my last show, and I was speaking when I was wrapping up last week's show, I was saying that, even though, we do expose dirty cops and crooked judges and different things like that, you have, about, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, about 3 times more good cops out there, but good cops don't get the credit that they deserve. And now, thanks to the George Floyd case, a lot of states have started to adopt this law called the duty to intervene. And so that's what we're going to be sharing with you guys tonight. But let me bring my good friend in. He's a very good friend of many, many years. We go way back, since there's an old saying goes, since we was knee-high to a grasshopper. This is my man, Duane Stinson, and he's going to be joining us now. Duane, are you with me, my brother? Are you with me?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Yes,
What's going on? You ready? You ready to look at some videos and give your honest opinion?
Yes, this day is monumental because my mama always told me I would make it. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anybody you'd like to shout out right now, my brother?
I want to just thank my mom and daddy for having me.
Yes,
I always knew I could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, sir. I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Because we come from that place, it's like each one teach one. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I got my food in. Now I'm trying to get you your toes in. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
See? Each one teach one. Each one teach one. You know what?
Yes, sir.
You threw a hand back. You said, brother.
Exactly. So, all right.
Yes,
so let me dig through my little video files here, and we're going to go ahead and bring them on up. And we got 2 videos. Okay, we got an older video, and then we're gonna have the update. So I believe this one right here. We're gonna go ahead and get this in queue, and we're gonna share this screen here. Let's go ahead and bring us on back in here. And here we go, okay?
All right.
Very sad situation, but it actually highlights a good cop. A good cop stopped a bad cop from doing something illegal. A good cop saw that a bad cop, who happened to be a sergeant, was about to pepper spray a suspect already in handcuffs in the back of a police cruiser. So this good cop, it's a young woman on the force, grabbed the bad cop and pulled him away. What did the bad cop do? Well, he turned around and choked her out in front of her colleagues. Yeah, that's what he did. Should have been arrested on the damn spot.
Yes,
let me give you the background. Sunrise, Florida. A sergeant is now on desk duty and under investigation following an incident that took place November 19th. We're just getting the video. The body cam shows Sergeant Christopher Police grabbing the throat of a young female officer after she pulled him back from a cuffed suspect. Let me show you the first screenshot. So this sergeant comes armed with mace. The suspect is backing away from him inside of the vehicle. So the sergeant runs up, the guy's in the car, and he's now going to mace the individual when the person has already been arrested. Okay?
He was wrong right there.
Let me show you the next pictures. Now, what you see, the blurred image is a young female officer who has now intervened and pulled the sergeant completely away from the suspect who is handcuffed and made sure that the suspect had his rights respected.
Exactly.
That's a hero.
That is.
And this is what happened after she intervened.
She had every right.
The sergeant turns around and he chokes her in front of all of his colleagues and the suspect. Okay? Here's what I'm thankful for. The chief spoke up. The chief actually said something.
There you go.
The chief, Anthony Rosa, shared his reaction with 7 investigators and said, I find this behavior to be disgusting. I think the video speaks for itself.
Right.
The chief also applauded the young officer, saying, so I'm very proud of this police officer. She took some definitive action. I can only imagine what she must be feeling. She's a newer officer, keep that in mind. A newer officer, and he's a very senior sergeant.
You know why?
The 28-year-old, who 7 investigators did not name, has been with Sunrise Police for just over 2.5 years. Compare that to 46-year-old Sergeant Christopher Police, a 21-year plus veteran of the force.
Wow.
Yeah. You see,
crazy.
we keep talking reform. We just need police reform. No, you need police replacement.
Yes.
The reason why this happened, the reason why there's a good cop story out of this is because there was a new cop who chose to be good, who chose to do the right thing. And thankfully, the chief of police is standing with her. However, everyone here knows that sergeant should have been arrested on the spot, which proves the culture that permeates still protects people like him. She was a victim of assault.
Yes.
She was choked out by a sergeant who this woman did exactly what she was supposed to do. She has a duty to intervene, to protect and serve, and she did that. She did it quite well.
Period.
Here's what led up to it. Just a minute earlier, the body camera shows a man being walked by officers to a patrol car. He was being arrested for aggravated battery after police say he hit people outside of a convenience store. The man under arrest is already in handcuffs, but officers appear to be having difficulty getting him into the car. Around that time, the sergeant pulls up, walks up to the suspect. Sunrise Police Chief Anthony Rosa says he cannot tell us what the sergeant said, but says it made the situation worse. So the police chief said, listen, I won't tell you what the guy said, but I will tell you this. What the sergeant said made everything worse. Made everything worse, and he did not de-escalate. That's what the chief of police said during an interview. He said, and I quote, I find it to be inappropriate and unprofessional because what he did is he escalated the situation when calm was actually required. Now, here's the kicker. There's a new law. There's a new law. Here's the law. There's a new state law requiring departments train officers on their duty to intervene. Yes, duty to intervene, meaning if you don't do it, you have now committed a criminal act.
Exactly.
If they see another officer using excessive force, Chief Rosa says Sunrise already has policies requiring intervening and de-escalation.
Yes.
They are not interested in releasing the audio. So here's what they did now. They released the video, would not release the audio. Why do you think?
Because you don't want to hear
the culture.
what was said, bro.
There is still something there.
Yep.
So even though the chief of police is praising what this young officer did, he did that during an interview. He has to. It was physical assault. The sergeant was absolutely wrong. But why is the sergeant still getting paid? Why is the sergeant still employed? Why is the sergeant on desk duty? Why has the sergeant not been arrested? If you're talking about protecting those that are heroes among your ranks, like this particular woman who decided to stand up, and all of these damn men who saw this woman being choked out did absolutely nothing but let it happen, your culture is still corrupt. That 28-year-old who did this needs to be the new chief. I hope she's on the pathway to leadership in law enforcement quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
The sergeant should be arrested. We're going to stay on top of this story and bring you updates as they develop.
So before we get to the update, because we actually have the update from his show. Now, if you're just joining us, this is CJ and Duane, and we're looking at, I'm just going to title this show Good Cop, Bad Cop. We just got to finish watching was about a 6-minute, 45-second video of my man, Dr. Rashad on TYT. And he was covering a particular interesting case. This time, this was a cop on cop situation. Okay. And basically you had the older senior cop who's a sergeant. He's been on the force for a good number of years. And then you have this 2-year rookie. And because that's what you're called, okay? Ain't nobody picking names or nothing like that. That's just what you are. In that world of experience versus fresh in, you are considered to be a rookie cop. Until you start getting experiences and years under your belt, then you're seasoned and well trained, and then you're training others. All right. So all that being said, first of all, before I jump in and put down my experiences in this in the first video, let's hear what you got to say there, D. What did you think? What did you feel? What ran through your head when you saw it?
Well, like you said, it's definitely what we need more of. But I like what he said too. The chief really had no choice. First of all, he put his hands on a woman. First of all, this 2021, so he had to do that. First of all, I mean, with the Me Too movement, a lot of things, women's rights and stuff. Even though it was another cop, you know what I'm saying? But so he was being very politically correct when he did that. He might be really on board with what he was saying. He might really believe what he was saying. He really might be willing to praise what she did. But he had no choice. You cannot, after something like that, something as horrendous as that, you cannot get in front of it like, oh no, we're gonna investigate it. No, you have to call a spade a spade as soon as that thing happens. Something as crazy as that. And also the other thing that stood out was all the men that was around and nobody did anything. You know what I'm saying? Even after he put his hands on a fellow officer, I'm pretty sure the officer was a lot smaller. Even though, she was on the armed forces or whatever. But you know what a lot of that was? I'm pretty sure the lower ranking officers, they were scared. I'm not, that's a sergeant. I'm not going. Right. So actually, excuse my French, but the lady had the biggest balls in the whole bunch.
Exactly.
Everybody else is worried about, oh, that's Sarge. We can't reprimand Sarge. He did see that. You know what I'm saying? But that's very rare.
She did. She did what I call, she let her natural instincts take over.
Right.
See, like when you start to see something like that, human nature says, forget a uniform, forget a power, a position of authority. You see something that's not right. So in the back of your head, you're saying, oh, I'm in a position to actually do something about this. 2, she's a rookie. She hasn't been on the force long enough to get corrupted or to be corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? 2 years, that means she's in, let's say her first 3 months, she just came out of a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that she probably has about maybe a year and a few months. No, 2 years. She probably started going solo probably right at her second year, because she was because like once she graduated police academy, you are on the road, but you're not by yourself. You have your field training officer with you. So all she has is her book knowledge and the training that her FTO, whoever her field training officer is, has shared with her. She's gone on calls and different things like that. Believe me, she has. She's gone on a lot of them. And she was probably on night shift and everything. So she's, so she's been tried by the fire.
Right.
Like that, okay. So the first thing she thought was about her training. She saw a human being and their rights about to be violated. She didn't see a black man. She didn't see a person of color. She didn't see a woman. She didn't see a man. She just saw somebody in her uniform about to go in and get everybody in trouble. She didn't want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So she grabbed him by his duty belt or utility belt, however you want to see it, and pulled him from the situation. Now,
let me throw this curve.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if she's a mother or not, but I think in this situation, that might have played a factor. She probably said,
I'm thinking the same thing.
That's somebody's
that
son.
Mother instinct kicked in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, we and mind you, we are fresh off the George Floyd trial, which triggered the new law and policies. Right now, in the state of North Carolina, we adopted that duty to intervene. I had that information, but we just adopted it ourselves. I want to say shortly after the trial. I mean, it didn't take no time. It was unanimous. You can actually Google it. You can actually Google it.
That's gonna be contingent upon enforcement of it too, though.
No, sir. Listen, this is how it works. That's an actual policy now. So here's what happened. You'll end up being in a situation like her, because what'll happen is that whether you intervene, if you intervene, then you're good, you're clear. You did your part. The duty to intervene saves that individual from collateral damage. Say, for instance, like what happened with, oh my gosh, my young guy that got the modern day lynch, and all 3 of the officers are going on trial this month.
Not a mob.
Not him. I'm sorry. I got 2 cases in my head. George Floyd. My God. Okay. George Floyd. Okay. Now the 3 officers that was involved, that assisted in Chauvin killing George, now all 3 of them are held liable now. Had they stopped Chauvin, pushed him off, hey, we got it, start trying to perform first aid. This is the reason why most states now have already adopted the duty to intervene. So now these 3 officers are going up. Charges. That's right. So whether you do something or not, it's on you. It's on you. As I'm saying, you as in universal to police officers out there. So in a sense, they have no choice now. I mean, unless they want to be brought up on charges. Right. Because now we can place you at the scene. So
because that's what it's gonna take. That's what it's gonna take, because and like when I said it's gonna take enforcement, where it looks like that particular law is taking that out of the hands of the police department.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying, look, we got video of this, so we got evidence of this happening. So it doesn't matter if everybody is in compliance or not. We still can bring charges up on you. If we can look in the situation and see that you stood there and you didn't do anything, you know what I'm saying? It's out of the hands of maybe everybody's in on it or everybody's a crooked cop or whatever. You still can be. That is very, that is a good one. You know,
so I love it, honestly. So let's take a look at this update and let's see what he got here.
This is an update. Remember the cop who was about to violate the rights of an arrested citizen? And a good cop stepped in, grabbed him, and then the bad cop decided to choke the good cop. The good cop is a female employee. The bad cop is this veteran sergeant, all right? Well, guess what? The police union got involved, and do you think they're taking the side of the good cop or the bad cop?
Police union, no.
Both of them are cops, right? Let's put up the graphic of when Sergeant Christopher Police choked his fellow officer.
Duane,
this is a veteran
look how big he is,
police sergeant.
Look, you see how big he is compared to her?
That's what I just said. Right, that's what I just said. That's crazy.
Now, I mean, just off the strength of how Dr. Rashad brought this video in, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the reason why this cop is not fired, because he's a part of a union. So even if the sheriff is trying to fire him, the most you can do to the Sunrise Police Department officers is put them in administrative leave. You can take away their gun and you put them behind a desk, and then the case automatically goes into internal affairs. Now, if it starts to get a little hairy, a little shady, then they'll call for an outside source to come in and investigate this sergeant. But this right here is clear cut.
Yeah, it's open and shut. It's open and shut.
Right. I mean, Ray Charles could see this.
Right.
You know? So anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Let's hear what Dr. Rashad says about it.
This sergeant has been placed on administrative leave, is now under criminal investigation. Sergeant Police, I'm going to give you the background to what happened and the update. This sergeant, armed with mace, was trying to mace a suspect already handcuffed, already inside of the police cruiser.
That's point number one. He's already in, he's already cuffed, he's already in the unit. Why you got OC out, bro? No need.
Right.
This is what happened. This is how it went down. When the female officer saw this, she grabbed the belt of the sergeant and removed the sergeant from the suspect. She has a duty to do that, by the way, because in their state, last year, they passed a law called duty to intervene, which means when you see something that a cop is doing or about to do that is criminal, you will be charged with the crime if you don't stop it. So she has a duty to intervene.
And there it is. Can we make it any more clearer than that?
Right, that's true.
So she didn't have a choice. A lot of the, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let it play.
She intervened, okay? Let's show the picture of her grabbing the belt. Let's have the picture up again. All right, so she grabbed the belt, she does this, way to go, hero cop, right? Good person, way to go. Young cop doing what she has to do, and is a superior at that. Pepper spray still in one hand, police grabs the female officer by the throat. Then moving his hand to her shoulder, he pushes her against a patrol car. That's what he did.
Great.
Okay? This is violent. This is a violent attack. There were officers watching this.
Now, I'm gonna pause it right here. Look at that frame to your left where it actually shows his full body. Okay. You see the hand is bladed open. So he is clearly, he knows what he's doing. Okay. That's what you call an open blade choke. Okay.
Wow.
There's an officer just to her right. You see the duty belt and the two legs. That's an officer right there. And it just above the number 7, it almost looked like something that's like almost like a flesh tone. That could be a hand or an elbow or something. But in other words, I don't see this officer nor the officer's body cam that's recording all of this looking like they are trying to intervene with this sergeant choking out this rookie.
And they're not.
And then in the frame on the right, that is the body cam of the sergeant pushing, showing his arm, pushing her in the upper part of her body back towards the police unit. I mean, you can't, and so let me ask you this. Here's the monkey wrench. What you think is going to happen to the officer that was right there to their right, and the officer that recorded the on the left here, the body cam? What do you think is going to happen to those two? You think they're going to be held to the duty to intervene?
I think they should be.
Oh yes, sir. Definitely.
But I will say with the union, I've seen some documentaries and things about that. It's gonna be very hard to convict them. Yeah, because
that's why they don't get fired.
Right, they're gonna say it happened so fast. They're gonna say, well, I was getting ready to, but she already did. You know, it's just so many. It's just a slippery slope right there. Such a gray area. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh I was rocking with you, brother. You ain't saying nothing wrong. Let's go ahead and let it play out a little bit more. Let's see what the union actually said.
Did any of them defend their fellow officer? No. Did any of them even stand up and say, Sarge, you got to stop, Sarge? No. Did they flinch? No. They would have allowed that sergeant to go ham on this woman, knowing that she probably just saved all of them from getting a damn charge. You got to think about what her actions have done.
Now the two of them gonna get
this was being recorded.
For not stopping the sergeant.
The fact that she intervened has likely stopped the attorney general and the local DA from charging all of the cops who refused to intervene. See how that works? She saved all of them. Story gets deeper. During a Sunrise City Commission meeting on Tuesday, the president of the local Fraternal Order of Police took issue with the recent comments by Police Chief Anthony Rosa, who called the sergeant's actions disgusting in an interview with Miami's Channel 7 News. So literally the police chief says, here's what happened. Good cop grabbed a bad cop. The bad cop was wrong. The sergeant's actions were disgusting. I'm proud of this good cop. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what the police chief said. And then the head of the police union comes in, put his picture up again. And he decides to go after the chief and the officer who followed the law.
I would love to see that.
Wow, it's not about Chief Rosa's exclusive interview with Channel 7. It's more about the investigation itself. That's what the president of the Fraternal Order of Police said, Stephen Negron. He's, in a way, our only juror, this president of the local union said, calling for Chief Rosa to be removed from the investigation. All of a sudden, they don't want an internal investigation? I thought police unions liked internal investigations.
When they
now,
favoring them.
What do you see? They only like them when they're going in the direction they're pushing. Here's the other part. This is the police union. Why are they not standing up for the officer who was attacked? You have to ask yourself this question. Are they really for police, or are they for a particular behavior in policing? Because I see two cops. I see a clear good cop and a clear bad cop. The police union, they decided to take the side of the bad cop, and they're going after the good cops who are standing up to the culture of corruption there. You have your juror stating that the subject person did certain things inappropriate, disgusting, wrong, and in any trial, if you heard that from a juror, you would recuse him immediately. Well, the police chief is not a jury member. The police chief is the police chief, and well within his authority to say what a thing is. We need more people like him. So the commissioners rejected this request from the union chief, noting that the chief was also being criticized for not acting swiftly enough. Sunrise Mayor Michael Ryan even compared the case to the George Floyd murder. When it seemed like a civil discussion was beginning to wrap up, tension started to spiral out of control. Now, I don't have the audio, but I have the transcript. Let's put up this first person. All right, this is Commissioner Joseph Scuato. Made comments defending the sergeant who attacked the officer, saying the case had been spun in a way that's so ridiculous. This commissioner also reportedly called the suspect that was arrested a piece of That's what he said. The suspect is a piece of, and the case has nothing to do with George Floyd. Well, another commissioner spoke up. Let's put his picture up. This brother spoke up, Commissioner Mark Douglas, who is black, responded by asking the former commissioner that spoke if he was blaming the incident on the suspect. I'm sure George Floyd was a piece of ish who caused it too, exactly. Douglas said sarcastically. What are you defending? Shut up, Joey. The brother told him to shut up. All right, good for him. Don't tell me to shut up, the commissioner responded. Let's put his picture back. Don't tell me to shut up. I'm telling you to shut up, Douglas said. What are you going to do? He responded, right, don't tell me to shut up. What do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Tough guy? According to Channel 7, the commission quickly took recess after trial. After that, back and forth. And the internal investigation is still happening. Yeah. So they got into it. I really wish I could, play the audio. We don't have the audio, but we got the transcript. They were close enough to come to blows. They did not. They did keep telling each other to shut the hell up. All right, Jackson, thoughts here?
All right, Duane.
Yes, boy, they're like yes, sir. Kids. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I'll take a few things from there.
Yeah.
And you know what? They don't want to let the audio. They don't want to let the audio come out because they already said that when the sergeant came up, he said something to inflame, to make that an inflammatory situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they had already had it pretty much. I mean, they said the guy was having trouble getting him in the car, but I'm sure they had two officers and he was already in the car pretty much. So he already, before he even got out the car, he had set in his mind what he was gonna do. I'm gonna show this boy, you know what I'm saying? He gonna comply, he gonna not to mess with us, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, like I said, he just threw flames on the fire for no reason.
Because I'ma show him. See, I'm a big boy. Now I'm a big boy. Mm-hmm. I got my big boy draws on. I got my stripes that told you I'm a big boy. So I'm bigger. I'm over all these peoples. So I'm gonna show you. You don't want to get in this car. You don't want to obey because my officer said to obey. And you right here thumping on people. I'm gonna thump on you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, that's where all that come from.
Right.
All that come from.
But you know what? That's the same situation with George Floyd, though. I mean, they were saying he was having a problem getting him in the car. you know. And you would think in this climate of something like that just happening, that police officers would be a little more, you know what I'm saying, really sort of treading lightly with something like that. With somebody that's already handcuffed, already in the car, you would think that, you know, you say, wait a minute, in the back of your mind, you say, wait a minute, let's not, you know, because really, if you was to pepper spray that man, you don't know how he could react. He could die. You know, if you did it, you know what I'm saying? If he already handcuffed and you get in his face, he got some kind of asthma or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessary. So it's just confusing to the testosterone that was going on at that moment, you know?
And see, you just said it. You just said it. Ego, testosterone. We don't even have to bring in race into this at all. This is just simply culture. Mm-hmm. Culture says, I'm a man with a badge, with a gun, and with a few more other levels of force that I can use on you at any time. I have the power to take away your freedom. I have the power to hurt you and write a report that says otherwise. You bumped your head on the way in the car. I don't know what happened to you. For all I know, that could have happened after I gave you over to the deputy sheriff. So listen, I've done this for a long time. I've witnessed this, things like this. And that's what this show is about, right? So this is what I see. These cops are deeply embedded into these agencies, okay? Mm-hmm. They come from a long line. He's a David Chauvin. There's so many David Chauvins out here. And not only are there sergeants, they're lieutenants. They are captains. And then and these are not dumb people. And then you have them leave law enforcement and go over into the courts. So now they're in the judicial system. So they are your, Judge Joe Brown, he liked to say, they are your magistrates, your referees, so to speak. Now, don't ever go into a courtroom and ask a judge, oh, you ain't no, or tell a judge, you ain't no real judge, you a referee. Don't do that. But yeah, but that's just a technical term, right? That's just a technical term. But the thing about it is, they are peppered. That's the word I'm looking for. They are peppered throughout law enforcement. And see, at first, when things like this was coming out, you know, you got that whole stereotypical thing. Oh, it's just a few apples. It's just a few bad apples. Until they really started peeling back that layer, you know, stop taking off the covers off the bed. Oh, it's more than just a few. And in some departments, it's the whole department because they fail to the culture. And one thing I really do want to make clear, just because you have a good officer that did not intervene. So I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here. Let's just say that the two guys that decided not to intervene, using your example, they was just that shook. They was just that intimidated. They were just that scared. But now you put yourself in a position to be investigated.
And see, it's going to take a while for that to start integrating into this system. You know what I'm saying? Even though the law was just passed and the amendment or whatever, it's going to take a while because that blue wall has been embedded in these guys, you know, forever. And so that's probably was a good thing that he was a rookie cop, because I guarantee you the other two guys probably had a little bit more experience on the force. They know that
no doubt.
If you want, they know if you want a promotion if you want to go from, I'm not sure the levels, but if you want to end up being an investigator one day, if you want to end up in homicide, if you want to end up doing something else, you can't rock the boat.
Right.
You gotta go along. You gotta get along, go along, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take some situations like this. It's gonna take some demotions. It's gonna take some convictions. It's gonna take some people going to court, losing money. That's another thing they sort of swept under the rug. He's still getting paid. Like you said, that's an open and shut situation right there. This man I keyed this lady. I turned at this lady. You know, you know what I'm saying?
I said the laugh.
I mean,
he kind of did.
I mean, seriously.
Get in the car, man.
This is a policeman. You said, think about it. Okay, think about if that was Kat. Think about if that was my wife. You send your wife off to a dangerous job anyway. She come home, or you happen to hear that night on the news that he choked me. You who? And she tell you the sergeant did it?
The sergeant
Come on, man. And he's not fired? And you got to see this dude every day. He probably got a desk job now. Come on, man. The culture, like I said, it's going to take a while. It's definitely a step in the right direction. You know. And did you notice how it was so convenient that, and I think you mentioned something about it, it's like, okay, when the insurrection happened, right? All those people that swore they love cops and they love the flag. Well, during the insurrection, they ended up killing a cop. And they assaulted plenty more cops. It's the same situation with this right here. Now, cops, they definitely support not beating on women. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you got two cops that didn't have anything to do with the situation. And you sat back and watched your sergeant put his hands up, and the union is turned a blind eye to. Like I said, the union that I'm sure she pays her dues to every month, every paycheck, is not even supporting her as a woman who got assaulted in front of the whole world to see. And now you got this guy saying that the chief was wrong and that the dude who was getting arrested, he was a piece of crap and all this and that.
And I'm tell you something right there. Listen, I don't care if the guy, I'm gonna go parallel with the other commissioner that told the other commissioner, shut up. First of all, I don't care if he is a piece of crap. Seriously. Because you don't go around arresting people that don't deserve arresting. So the arrest in itself was good. It was a good arrest. He got arrested for aggravated assault on something or someone else. In other words, he deserved to be locked up. What he don't deserve is to be treated like he is less than human. And that's what I was saying on my show that I did previous to this one. This is not about always me having a show trying to be the voice for the little man to be like, and this person didn't do nothing wrong. This person didn't do nothing wrong. No. Whether you committed a crime, but especially not, no matter whether you are a criminal, and especially if you are not a criminal, Black people and people of color do not need to be treated less than human, period. That's what this show is about. That is the elephant in the room. That is what I'm exposing. I don't care. We do have criminals. They do need to be handled. They do need to be tried, found guilty, and put away. The reason why I stress that is because just because you haven't been found guilty doesn't mean that you're really innocent either. That's right. You already know who I'm going to say. You already know who I'm going to say, right? The young white man that got away with taking two lives.
Oh yeah, you talking about what was
Oh
his
God,
name?
I forgot his
I
name now.
definitely know who you're talking about though. I definitely know who you're talking about.
And not only him, but Zimmerman.
Yeah.
So just because you got arrested eventually or turned yourself in, and you were found not criminally liable, and let's just say you even slipped past the civil court, you are still guilty of what you did. You're still guilty of what you did. And that's something that both Zimmerman and that young man got to take to their graves with them. Just like I believe she's up in her 80s now. The woman that was responsible for, come on, CJ, the death of Emmett Till.
Right.
She's in her 80s.
I thought she told the truth on her deathbed or something like that.
No, okay. We're gonna have to do that documentary one day and then just kind of like try to condense it, like just to put it in the show. But it's part true, but not. It's become almost like a urban myth now. But the truth is that she only the truth is that she only admitted to what she said off record. Because what she said off record wasn't going to be admitted anyway inside the courtroom. So the only part that she said that wasn't true was that extra drama when she was saying that he tried to come on to her and had all kinds of explicit conversation with her. But to this day, like she's been, I think they say she's been married two to three times, and she has been relocated and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is that that woman knows to this day that she is responsible for a 14-year-old boy losing his life in one of the most horrific ways ever in the United States history, recorded history. So she made history for the United States for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
And that's something that these people have to carry. That's something they have to carry. So exonerated by the courts, okay, that's the legal proceeding. That's just rendering unto Caesar that which is of Caesar. Cool. All right, but you still have to live with yourself.
But that's why I like this law that's in place now, because some people don't have a moral compass.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's like, okay, oh well. But this particular new law is taking whatever you feel out of the equation. We looking at what happened, who was around it, who acted, who didn't act. Right. You know what I'm saying? I like that because, you know what I'm saying? It's just, like you said, Zimmerman, we can sit here all day and say, well, he got to deal with that. I promise you, Zimmerman lost one night of sleep. Now, I can't say that, but you see how wild he started acting afterward. He's signing Skittles. He's signing all kinds of stuff. It's like he's proud of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and mind you, he also has that image too. So, I mean, when you know you're on camera and you know people are watching, and you got people like, you got organizations like Proud Boys and Promise Keepers and all this other stuff, you got them immediately in your corner. But see, after a while, they going on to the next new hotness. So they kind of forget about you. And then, so when other people look at you, they recognize you, and they're like, hold on, wait a minute. I know you. I see you. Then that's when reality hits you. And it's like, oh, so not the whole world had my back? That's just like I said, we can go back to Emmett Till. The reason why that man had to close down his store was boycotted behind this. He couldn't do business. Not everybody that was white in that town supported what he did. And what really, when they eyes really became open is when they had that interview, the two guys admitted kidnapping and killing Emmett Till. And when they put it out there, they admitted it because you can't be tried twice. So when they say, oh yeah, we did that, then it was like, everybody, or a great majority of the people that had their back, all went like this. Whoa, you admitted that? You actually did that?
Wow.
I can't do nothing for you. So even within your support group will fall away. And even if it's just for image sake, they will fall away. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see what happened in the Ahmaud Arbery trial.
Right, exactly.
The guy who was filming,
everybody was like, yeah, he deserved and all this other stuff. But as soon as they realized, I ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Right. You remember that neighbor that was across the street, and he was like, oh yeah, she was all about it, you know. But when she started putting 2 and 2 together, she got quiet as heck, and she sat down.
Yeah.
What is the name of that boy? Right, I cannot think of the name of that boy. I'm sorry, man, because he's 18. They kept calling him a boy. They kept calling him a boy. You know,
he had a long last name too. Shit.
God, dog. But I forgot. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Duane, I want to thank you, my man.
Yes, my brother.
Man, for real, like this was awesome. I appreciate you being here and giving me your direct input on stuff. I would love to have you back. And y'all tell us what you think about the show. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and roll up on out of here. We're gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Let me go ahead and get my little trailer up, and we're gonna close this thing out right. How about that? All right, guys. Y'all be good.
Peace.
Peace. Hey, you with me still? Still with me? You still with me?